Hey everyone, welcome to another Monday Mail Call. Now, when I started Mail Call, I was thinking that this would be stuff from just my P.O. box, but every once in a while I get stuff as an email that I probably in the past should have put out as a video because a lot of it was good, but didn't really have a format to do it. So this came as an email, and since I started doing it, well, mail is mail. I am definitely going to share it because it's pretty important. All right. I got an email from Currency Systems. You've heard me talk about them in the past as well. Go check them out. I'll put a link down below. Currency Systems sent me a video, a YouTube link for a particular video that I'm going to show, and it's regarding under-inking errors and missing prints. And I was blown away. I thought it was fake. I had to check it out. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, there are a lot of videos. This is one of my videos here. Is this an insufficient inking error? Is the title of this one. And when you look at this at a glance, you can see how dark the seals are and how light the background is. I did an entire video explaining how this phenomenon happens. Now, the actual error has to do with the sheets getting stuck together. So let's say that they are printing the first print, which is the back of a note. The back of the note, they print all the backs all at once. But if two sheets stuck together while they went through that print, one of those two sheets would not receive any ink on the back. Then 3 days later, they'd flip the stack and they'd print the front. And at that point, a note would receive ink on this side, but it wouldn't have any ink on the back. So you would have a note that has a complete first print, missing first print. That is the error. Now, sometimes the pages will stick together when they're printing the front. So you have a note where the back is fine, but the part that is here isn't fine, and yet the serial numbers are fine. That can happen as well. In fact, I have a picture of that on the cover of this book. That would be a missing second print. And then there's also a missing third print, which means you get the president, you get the back, but you don't have any of the seals. All of those could happen the same way, just by two pieces of the sheet getting stuck together and not receiving the ink. I explained in this particular video how this is just damage. But then, like I said, I got an email from Currency Systems showing me a particular video, and I queued it up. Now, before I show this little video clip, I want to stress that the person in the video is not a collector. They were simply proving a point. They aren't doing this to deceive. They aren't doing this to make money. They were doing it to see what a particular device is capable of. And his video was 12, 13 minutes long, showing all the different things. It's essentially an advertisement for this particular device. And in this one quick segment, he shows what I'm going to show you. The device that he's got is it's some type of laser, a laser cleaner, where you can use a laser to clean metal, clean rust. You can use the laser to cut down trees. I mean, there's all kinds of different things you can use this laser for. And one of the things that he talked about was how it removes ink from surfaces. And he shows in here how you can remove pencil from a piece of paper, which is pretty amazing. Anyway, the portion of this that's concerning is going to be, let's see, is this it? Yeah. All right, I'm just going to hit play on this particular one here, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully you can hear this.
Now I want to try removing the ink from a dollar bill. I had the idea to try this after I saw somebody try erasing pencil from paper. Oh, crap. I had the idea to soak the dollar in water, and then it worked perfectly. Now, if it works on a $1 bill, am I brave enough to try a $100 bill? Don't worry, Frankie, it's gonna be okay. Don't worry, this isn't illegal. Unless it is illegal, in which case this is fake money. I mean, who would be stupid enough to ruin a $100 bill?
Okay, so couple things. First and foremost, like I said, this guy is not an eBay seller or anything like that. He is trying to sell this particular laser. This particular thing is, what is this? Over, it's about a 12-minute long video. And this segment of the video isn't how to create fake errors. It's simply demonstrating how it removes the ink from the paper. With that being said, look at the result. This is a high-powered laser that's doing this, and you saw the notes burst into flame the first time, which means in order for this to actually happen correctly, the note had to be wet. Okay, well, let's back it up. If you have a note that you think is missing a print, the biggest giveaway is going to be condition. And unfortunately, the hardest way to prove that is when the note is missing the first print, because the average person doesn't look at the back of a note. Okay, so if a note is missing the first print, the back print, it can be circulating for a long time before somebody ever flips that note over to see what's on the back. So that means that the condition of a missing first print, missing back print, is generally going to be a little bit rougher. Now, I was going to say that the telltale sign of this, the laser portion of this, is the fact that he had to soak the note in water. When you soak a note in water, one of the things that happens is you're changing the characteristic of the paper. The note no longer gets an EPQ grade. A note without an EPQ grade is clearly in lower condition than an identical note with the EPQ. Okay, so once again, if you want to determine if a note has been tampered with, the way to determine that is the overall condition of the note. Now, specifically, I found this note interesting here, the $100 bill, because yes, you can still see fragments of the serial number and the seals. And that's interesting because that's due to the different types of printing process. As I mentioned in this particular video here, all of the parts that are light gray in here are actually raised up. And I think that's how this laser is working. It's removing those raised up portions, whereas the parts that are still dark on this note are pushed into the note, which, like I said, I don't know how the laser itself is doing it. I don't care. I'm not out to buy a laser, but I do know that, did I just lose that? I think I did. Let me see if I can find that in here again. Yeah, I clicked on the wrong one, so we'll back this up here. I can probably find it. Anyway, so that particular laser is going to remove the uppermost layer, and you saw the thing burst into flames. So what you're looking for is a note. If you think the note has water damage, if the note is not going to get an EPQ, it's going to have a feel to it. I can only imagine what a note that had the ink burnt off of it feels like. I'm sure it probably has some type of smell, at least for a little while. But the note probably isn't going to feel right. The other interesting thing that I wanted to point out before I accidentally X'd out of it was that the plastic strip in that $100 bill had the laser go over it, which means that plastic strip was probably warped. And it was also interesting to see that the ink that they used in the paper, the ink well, the orange ink well, that was still there. And the feather, that was still on there because that was embedded in the paper. I found it interesting that those were still there. Anyway, this, like I said, seeing this video was huge to me. My advice to you is, if you are looking to get a note that has the insufficient ink error, that has a missing print, whether it be the first print, the second print, the third print, I would highly advise getting a graded version. because unless you can actually witness someone doing that to a note like this guy just did, there's no way to know whether or not that was an actual printing error or not. 9 out of 10 people seeing that $100 bill are just going to assume that that's an error and it wasn't created that way with that laser. Anyway, I thought that was interesting to point out. I thought it was important to share with you guys. If you learned anything new, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. Love reading all your comments. Guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.